Sam Bruno. I am Sam. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I was raised in a tiny little town in the mountains, like a one-horse town. We didn't have a stoplight. It was tiny, tiny, tiny. I always win the whose town was smaller game, let's put it that way. I moved to Phoenix when I was 10 years old to live with my father and my family, and I've always been into music. I was born with music in me. I always wrote songs as a little girl. I would write little country songs on the piano and ukulele. I've always been a writer my whole life. Always been singing in choir, theater, all of that, so it's always been a passion of mine and in my heart. All through high school, I just knew I was gonna come to LA and I was gonna make it. And make it to me meant I wasn't gonna quit. And I had to make it if I never quit, right? So, fast forward, I was about 20 years old and I started recording music in a studio. And I was doing piano covers and singing other people's songs, but the owner of a studio in Arizona was like, Sam, like, you need to be writing your own music. So he hooked me up with a producer named Lifted, and we became friends and we started writing this dope music together, and we just had a synergy, so we started creating cool music together. And about a year after recording music, Lifted came to LA, had some meetings, and ran into Kanye West's music camp, and Kanye heard a couple of my demos that I had written, and he was like, who's that girl? And Lifted, the producer, was like, that's Sam Bruno. She's a writer from Arizona. And Kanye wanted Lifted to go out to London with them to write with Good Music for the Good Music camp. And so he flew Lifted out to London. And while they were out there, Lifted played more of our music. And Kanye again was like, who's that girl? And Lifted was like, the producer was like, that's Sam Bruno, the writer, the artist I told you about. So Ye was like, yo, get that pop girl out here with the dope melodies. So they were in London, and Kanye put me on a plane within 12 hours and flew me to London to write with him and the Good Music camp. I literally went from having $0 in my pocket, recording songs on the bedroom floor of my parents' house in Arizona, to the Landsborough Hotel with Kanye West within 12 hours. I had no money when I went to Europe. My parents gave me all of the money that they had, and at the time that was like 160 bucks, which in euros is like one meal. So I just went on faith that if Kanye was calling me to London, he was gonna feed me. So I showed up. I was in London for about 1 week writing with the Good Music camp, and one of the songs that I wrote, I went to pitch it to Kanye at the end of one of the nights, and one of the songs that I wrote, I watched him and he started vibing out to my song and he started singing along to it, and then he turned to his people and he's like, I want this one. And at the time I was like, what does that mean? But I was just freaking out. Inside I was freaking out, but on the outside I was like, yeah, you know? I was in the doorway and he had to pass me to go to the bathroom. And right when he walked by me, he put both of his hands on my shoulders and he said, good job, you are very talented. That shit cray. And he walked by me. And I looked at my friend like, did that just happen? And he's like, yeah. So that was really cool. Years now after that, I know it wasn't about Kanye and it wasn't about that moment. That moment for me though was an I belong moment. I knew I was in the right space at the right time in my life, and I just knew I belonged. And that's such a huge and true message to ring inside of your spirit. So from that opportunity came my first song placement ever as a songwriter. My first song placement in the music business was, it had Kanye West on it, Big Sean, 2 Chainz, Marsha Ambrosius, James Fauntleroy, Manny Fresh, and myself, and that was the song. So it's called The One. It's on Kanye's Cruel Summer album. So what happened, needless to say, I went back to Arizona and I met an incredible mentor, and my mentor has been a huge key in my story and in my success. And he taught me a lot of things, but one thing he said is, well, you better put your head down and get really good. And so that's exactly what I did. I started training and I started songwriting and getting good at it, and I just kept my head down and I kept bettering myself as a human being. So fast forward a little bit, the song that I wrote, the placement on Kanye's album, it opened every publishing door in LA, music publishing, because I was a Kanye writer, so every publisher took a meeting with me. I came out to LA, I met with them, I closed a deal with BMG, which is one of the biggest publishing companies in the world, and off of that deal advance, I moved to LA. So I came here about 5 years ago. And one of the coolest things my mentor has ever taught me is that LA is a city that can afford your dream. So I moved out here knowing that if I just dig into the dirt, into the soil, and I plant my seed into this soil and water it by showing up and bettering myself, that it will grow. And that's exactly what has happened. I came out to LA 5 years ago, kept my head down, was in a little apartment, just wrote songs, and I became an engineer, a music engineer, and I'm one of the rising women in the music business that's also an engineer and a producer, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that movement. I was recording myself, so every demo I ever wrote, I would record myself and I would sing it. So after about 1.5 years of doing that, my voice on one of my demos got the attention of the president, the CEO of Atlantic Records, Craig Kalman. And, you know, they called and they're like, we heard your records and we want to fly you out to New York. So once again, I, out of the blue, got called from the head of Atlantic Records and was on a plane and flew out to New York and met with them, and they wanted to sign me. So 3 years ago, I signed to Atlantic Records. And after that, my first song, my first single as an artist, Search Party, was the Fox Films Paper Towns, was that song's theme song and main song. So that was an incredible opportunity and platform for me to come out as an artist to the world and introduce myself. And ever since then, honestly, I've been, you know, collaborating with a lot of different artists. I have a song out with Skrillex now called Red Lips, and I've been grinding and hustling, and trust me, it has not been pretty. It hasn't at all. I've been through a lot, you know. Team members have come and gone, but the core has always been strong, and my roots are deep because I have good people around me. I have an incredible team that keeps me grounded and keeps me, you know, level-headed and never let my head get big, you know, but I'm a humble person anyway. I have country roots. So for the past 3 years, I've been writing songs, not just for myself, but for other artists as well. I've gotten to work with Britney Spears. Like, I wrote a song and Britney wanted to cut it. So I went to the studio to vocal produce her. And I was in the studio and she's on the other side of the glass in the booth. First of all, I just have to say she's such an angel. But she's in the booth on the other side of the glass singing my song that I wrote, my words, and killing it. Such a pro. Yet I push the talk back button and I go, oh, Brittany, that was great, but try to sing it like this. And then I step back and I'm like, just such a surreal moment, because I was a little girl in young Arizona in the mountains with my headphones on and my little CD player listening to Hit Me Baby One More Time. And so it's just, life is so full circle and so cool and so dope. And so I've gotten to experience stuff like that, you know, in my career, and as a female and just as a human in general, and as a music person and a music lover, it's such a gift. It's so rewarding for those things to happen, because they just are more and more confirmation that I'm in the right place at the right time, and that I am on purpose, and that I belong, you know? So yeah, that's my American dream. My American dream, right? Now I'm producing and writing for other artists as well as myself. I have some incredible things in the works right now. I have new music coming out that I'm really excited about and that I really believe in. I have a super, super awesome, full, bright year ahead of me. A lot of cool releases and collaborations that I'm really excited about. So I have a lot more coming. So watch out, keep your eyes open for Sam Bruno, because I'm coming. My dreams are American made. Join the uprising.